this is DJ Banshee, and you're listening to Food for Thought, a show on Ellensburg Community Radio that showcases the stories and lessons of people in our community. With this show, we hope to bring perspectives and experiences to light that are not often heard from our neighbors, yet reflect commonalities that tie us all together. If you've been to the food bank or have lived in low-income housing, or used food stamps or anything like that, we want to hear your story. Email us at ebergradiobooking@gmail.com. Today, I spoke with G-Man Danke. They moved here from the west side for Siwu, but stayed after they graduated and now use their time to support disability rights in our community. The story they shared today is personal, yet important for what they have built to become their life mission. I want to provide a trigger warning here for some discussion about self-harm and suicide. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoy the episode. And now my conversation with G-Man Danke. Have you on? And where would you like to start?
To be honest with you, I just wanted to, share my story of, what got me, to the point where I'm at today. So my junior year of high school, May 4th of 2015, so junior year of high school, I was just I was going through the worst stress and depression of my life, and I just, I was stuck on a dumb social misstep I had made, and I was having other issues like grades and all that, and there was this like I said, there was this one girl, I don't even know what it was about it, but I just could not let it go. I tried to, but I just couldn't, and on May 4th I essentially gave up my battle and jumped off the bridge down the hill from my parents' house in Seattle. I was told, but my cousin was told by the train yard workers that found me that day, that I was the first kid to do it. I was the first one to do it during the day. Happens about 12 times a year. They'd worked there for 17 years, and to their recollection, I was the only one that had ever survived. And
really?
Yeah, and honestly, it's just I've over the years, I've built up a lot of pride and self-confidence. I've just surrounded myself with a lot of positive people, and you're just kind of because beforehand I would I was totally closed off to any and all help that was offered, whereas now I try my best to accept help when I need it. I have physical therapy, I have a therapist, I have psychiatrists, I have good friends, all that. I use open mic, so it's definitely been a long ride, and this past May 4th was 10 years since it happened, but hey, that's all right. I'm here today, and I could not be more grateful. So yeah.
With this very tragic event that happened.
Yeah.
You seem to be able to talk about it pretty easily.
Yeah, honestly I think the thing that because everyone heals in different ways, and some people would want to be closed off about it. Some people very rarely some people talk about it as openly as I do. But honestly, my personal journey, because this jump is actually how I got into music in the first place. But my personal journey has been just kind of trying my best to get the word out and spread the message, because I keep saying that honestly I want to share my journey of healing, because the way that we treat mental health issues as a society, and suicide and addiction and all that, is putting a bandage on a severe wound. So that's part of what gives me so much confidence in myself, and makes me feel like I'm doing something good. It's just sharing this journey of how I've kind of bounced back, because I got a traumatic brain injury. If you notice these black bands on my arms, it's to help with the pain. I crushed my skull, all that. So
okay.
But yeah, I fell onto concrete. So that was it was quite the it's been quite the journey. But yeah, in the end, I was in and out of the hospital within a month, and back on my feet within 2 to 3. We were originally told no walking for sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but we were originally told no walking for at least 6 months, and I was back on my feet within 3. I think my first steps were on July 6th, but I can't remember if that's the first day that I actually started using crutches, or the first day that I got off this and actually took my first steps without any help. But either way, yeah, like I said, it's been a ride, but honestly, I keep like mentioning how cool it would be to like throw the first pitch at the Mariners game and speak about it in the Mariners broadcast booth. Just like get it on this. Believe it or not, actually, the very first thing I submitted it to was actually the Ellen DeGeneres show. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't make it on there, but so. Anyways, yeah, I'm just like honestly like. It fires me up to be able to be as open about it as I am, and just be able to. I mean, I've already helped so many people, even if it was as simple as giving someone jumper cables to give their car a jump, and I look forward to helping even more. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but
no, this is your platform.
Yeah. But like honestly, like one major thing that I could say about this incident and what happened is that honestly, like it didn't sure it took away the depression that I was feeling like in the moment, and I bounced back from there, but like honestly, like it didn't solve my problems. Like honestly, like obviously it left like a huge amount of like shame and guilt and regret and all that, and like I tend to get stuck on it every year ever since. I'm very much trying to get over that, but it's trying to and actually are over it are two different things.
So it's a lifelong
yeah, and honestly, I mean, like sometimes I'm a little bit too open about it. In that, like people whose parents don't want them to know, just because for like they're too young or whatever. Like sometimes I'm a little open about it with them. But I mean, honestly, like the thing that I tried not to make like the 10-year mark a big deal without making a big deal, if you know what I mean. Because like honestly, like I mean, yes, I have to preserve my self-respect, but at the same time, like I also think that it's important that someone, especially someone who is as open about their life and their struggles as I am, says something about this, because again, the way that we treat mental health issues as a society is like putting a bandage on a severe wound. And honestly, I in addition to Bruno Mars, who you guys have heard me talk a lot about over the years. I mean, I see you can see I have a bunch of posters.
Posters, yeah.
Yeah, but in addition to Bruno Mars, there's also this guy named Kevin Hines, who jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. And honestly, as I kind of formulate my story, and I'm working on a TikTok about it as soon as my friend teaches me how to use TikTok, and I'm as soon as honestly with sharing my story like this, I've kind of been using Kevin Hines' story as a kind of inspiration, because he's very open about it too, and honestly, I said, I think it's important that somebody brings awareness to this issue, because I mean frankly dude, I was a teenager when I did this. Many of us that attempt to die by suicide or hurt themselves, not even intending to die or whatever, many of us are in our teens and 20s. We should not be feeling like nobody loves us, we have to hurt ourselves in order to take away our pain in our in our 20s.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so I mean, you've talked about how you've been doing a lot of work on this. What exactly does that, over the last 10 years, what does that look like? Yeah, so honestly,
believe it or not, jumping off that bridge was actually the thing that got me into music in the first place. Because I knew that I wanted to share my story somehow, and so I wrote with my guitar teacher from Seattle. I actually wrote a because I'm originally from Seattle. I actually wrote a suicide / self-harm prevention rap, and it got over 1,000 views on YouTube. It was a huge success, and after that I was this was so much fun that I want to continue doing this. And honestly, I feel in addition to the normal stuff, sharing it openly, talking to people like you about this, I also feel over time, I've actually told my story of healing and recovery with my music. And it's not even just that, but I think a big part of it has just been kind of sharing my story with my music, and advocating for this mental health awareness. I was also I should probably also mention in college I came up with the idea for and helped to start up a peer connections group called Active Minds, and I was originally the vice president, and I was a little sad about it, because dude, I'm the one who came up with the idea. I kind of want to be president. But anyways, senior year, I eventually got to do that, and boy, was it it was such a fulfilling feeling. I mean, I definitely contributed a lot of ideas to that, and now I'm actually on the board of directors for the disability place that I go to.
Right.
And so honestly, like, that place, especially as a person with autism, like ADHD, fibromyalgia, all that stuff, like that disability place has been so helpful to me. Like whether it was like helping me punch my ticket for grad school, whether it was getting like healthcare once I turned 26, etc. Like that place has just been so like helpful to me as a person with multiple disabilities, and so honestly, it feels very fulfilling to give back to the organization that has really been there for me and all.
And that's Central Washington Disability Resources.
Yeah, CWDR, Central Washington Disability Resources. Yeah, and I mean, again, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and we have a great executive director, and we have we got a great board so far, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to whatever other ways I can serve and help out. I recently actually got elected vice president of the board, and I'm also the chair of the governance committee, so it's a little bit of responsibility, and honestly I'm busy, but like honestly, like I said, I hope, like, if I could, like, I don't know when or if ever I'm gonna move out of Ellensburg, but like, honestly, if I ever do, like I honestly kind of hope that it's to a place in one of the 5 counties that we serve, because frankly this is amazing. I get to make a real difference, so yeah.
Yeah, and what kind of resources do they provide for the
community?
So
for example, like I with one of my initial people, I got a little bit of help with punching my ticket for school. It just depends on the program. Like they have an independent living program, they have a youth transition program, they have a COVID-19 advocate program, and it really just depends. Like honestly, they can do they can for example, I have a massive fear of phone calls, and they've been able to provide support so that I don't freak out.
Okay. What is that support?
Sometimes it involves sometimes it involves doing the talking. Other times it can involve just being in the room there, so that I have somebody kind of anchoring me.
Oh, okay.
But they can do they help me get on healthcare. They help me get on food stamps.
Wow.
So it's again, I've been going there since I think it was 2022 or something, maybe 2021, and honestly they've helped me with so many things over the years, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down to a few things. Sure. But those are just a handful of things.
And so I'm just curious, do they assign a case manager to you, or
it depends on the program that you're in, but yes, with my I'm currently in the IL program, which stands for Independent Living, and so typically they assign someone to me, and then that way they can kind of work with me on my individual needs. For example, I also just got rear-ended 2 days before Easter.
No.
And they've I've had to deal with that a lot myself, just because they haven't had a lot of availability, but they have provided support in terms of submitting photos to insurance, and helping me get the figure out what to do about getting it fixed and all. So thankfully it looks like the back bumper just popped out, but I've probably been in about 5 or so accidents in my whole life, and this is the very first one that was not my fault. So I'm just I have a old roommate and a bestie who works at the Kelleher Motor Company in town, and honestly I've leaned on him a lot to say okay, how do I get this solved, because I just again, this is the first accident that wasn't my fault, and I just have no idea what I'm doing.
Sure, yeah.
So
there's not really a guidebook for that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, and so I also wanted to ask you about you mentioned you have fibromyalgia.
Yeah,
So,
it's suspected fibromyalgia.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if I actually have a diagnosis or not, but my pain doctor thinks I have it.
Okay, so nonetheless, it's a chronic pain.
Yeah,
that you struggle with.
Get this. So when I first started going through pain, because originally it was just in my gut, and then it spread to my ribs, then it spread to my hips, now it's in my neck and shoulders, etc. But honestly, before I went on the treatments that I'm currently on, physical therapy, pain medicine, all that, believe it or not, the cramps in the ribs hurt so badly that I couldn't even raise the tone of my voice. It was that bad.
Yeah.
I would be on Zoom calls with like trying to get stuff done, and all of a sudden I'd get a cramp in the ribs, and I'd be like, okay, and then I just tried to talk. I'm like, I couldn't, so. Anyways, what were you about to ask me about it?
Oh, I was just wondering like how that experience is for you to have it, both like experiencing it, but also kind of working through healthcare and all that stuff.
Honestly, like physical therapy is physical therapy and like learning how to like get like a proper diet in, learning how to not like push myself too hard, learning how to get an appropriate amount of exercise, etc. It's like physical therapy has changed my life. I mean, I strongly recommend Tamarack Physical Therapy in Cle Elum, because like Corey has just been absolutely amazing. She's so sweet. And honestly, like she's really, I mean, like for example, I would like, my parents live on a really steep hill in Seattle, and the thing is that I would originally say that I hated exercising, but more recently I realized it's not that I hate exercising, it's that the hills in my parents' neighborhood in Seattle are too hard for me.
Yeah.
At least at this point in time, because I mean, like I was already like born with the weakest like quote unquote male body. I was already born with the weakest body, and so it's been hard to kind of work my way up. But
What do you mean born with the weakest body?
Like honestly, I mean, like I just like I mean, like for example, like I remember even just like exercising on the Wii, when I was like middle school, whatever. And like honestly, I mean, I could sometimes do it, but I mean, like even just like 6 like what are they called, crutches, where you're like kind of like even just those were like exhausting, and like I mean even just like playing basketball or baseball or whatever, and like running around the bases, like even that could just like I tried, but like honestly like no matter how hard I tried, like you see, I wanted to be like this like ripped, like strong, like
we all do,
built person, and like honestly I like one thing I've had to face in like physical therapy and everything is I'm just not, I'm just,
most of us aren't.
I mean, like I try to like take as good care of my body as I can and get exercise when I need it and all, but like honestly, I mean, like I just am not like this strong. I mean, I'm strong mentally, sure, but like in terms of like like the physical aspect, like I mean, like honestly, like even just like turning, like lifting up chairs, so that I can put them on the table, especially with the metal inside my arms, that can be really challenging for me, and with the kinks in my back, with the metal in my arms, with the all that stuff. So yeah.
And with metal in your body, that sounds like, I can't imagine what that would feel like.
Yeah, honestly, believe it or not, this is actually really surprising. It's probably because of the, medications I was on to help with the pain back in the hospital. But when I was actually in the hospital itself, I mean, there were a couple times like my arms would like hurt or whatever. But like honestly, like I was in very minimal pain. And like honestly, I feel like actually like especially ever since I moved to Ellensburg with the cold weather and the hot weather in the summers that kind of affects the metal, like honestly I feel like I've actually been in like more pain post being in the hospital than I was like when my body was actually broken, because like crushed my skull, I broke my pelvis in 3 places. I just my arm was kind of like hanging off my arm like that on both. If you I don't know if you. Yeah,
no.
Sorry. So
it's okay. So I'm just like,
anyways,
that sounds awful.
But no, honestly, I honestly like even if I hadn't like been like the first person to survive, like I definitely was the first person like honestly that recovered that well. Again, like even the girl that I was stuck on tried to stop me, and it makes me realize like just how loved we all are as a society, and like honestly like like one piece of advice I could give, like honestly like don't be afraid to accept help when you need it, because I think that's one of my biggest regrets over the few months that I was going through this stress and depression is just not like accepting that help that I was offered, and just pushing people away. And obviously I've had a change of heart now, but it's still like it's been a journey, but honestly, in the end, I take a lot of pride in the work that I've done, and I hope to, spread my story as far as possible. And yeah, I'm really grateful for where I'm at, and I'm grateful for my family and friends that have kind of, been there to support me along the way. We lost my dog on Christmas Eve, and I lost a close friend a few days later, and that has been quite difficult to get through, especially because this past 10-year mark was the first I call it the day of the gift. That Sasha Mignon wasn't live, and it was the 10-year mark. I'm like, okay, come on, but
yeah. Now, like, what does the future look like for G-Man?
The future, well, honestly, I look forward to spreading my story as far as possible. I mean, honestly, I look forward to writing more music. I'm at some point in the future. I don't have a lot of time to work on it these days, but I've actually been working on a book about the jump. It's going to be called "Once a Fighter, Always a Fighter: Navigating My Way Through a Sticky Brain." Once a fighter, always a fighter is a quote that I came up with. The full quote is a little longer than that, but anyways, and then I have a bestie who's offered to help me make a TikTok about it, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to growing up more and more each and every day. Just continuing to surround myself with positive people, continuing to build up my support network, and honestly, hopefully build other people up too, and just be the amazing person that I am.
Nice. Well, yeah, it's been really awesome sitting down with you, and
yeah,
it's been a pleasure. So that was my conversation with G-Man Danky. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. This is DJ Banshee signing out. Food for thought. Voice of community. Food for thought. Conversations with the community.